Going back on the record, the time is 2:42 p.m.
Welcome back, Mr. Stidham. I'd like to change gears a little bit and turn towards the point systems at LuLaRoe. A lot of this will be because I've seen it used in multiple ways, and I'm just trying to figure out what points are used for in various contexts. What is the difference between qualifying points and leadership points?
I don't know.
What are leadership points?
In my interpretation of what leadership points are would be points in the leadership pool. But I'm not sure in the context you've got, if they're referring to that, or if, because it's possible that those two terms are being referenced interchangeably in just incorrect language.
So are you saying that you're not aware of a phrase called qualifying points?
No, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
And it refers to the same thing as leadership points?
Again, points in the leadership pool is different. They're not really referred to as leadership points, and that's why I'm confused as to whether or not somebody is misusing leadership points to refer to their qualification, or because we don't really have a leadership points, that unless somebody's using a shorthand vernacular for that.
Okay, so there are points in the leadership pool. Are there other points or point systems used at LuLaRoe?
You know, quite honestly, I'm not positive if we use dollar values or assign a point value to dollar values in the compensation plan. I'm not sure which way that works.
And I've watched a training in which you told consultants, if you sell LuLaRoe products at LuLaRoe's suggested retail price, you will always hit your points. Does that mean anything?
I don't object to the form. I don't know what you're referring to and what the full context of that statement was.
Yeah, out of context, I don't know what I'm referring to.
Is there a connection between suggested retail price and points at LuLaRoe?
Again, I don't know what points they're referring to.
Oh, excuse me. $44. Can I borrow your copy for a sec?
Just hang on 1 second, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, what?
Do I have the same thing?
Yours is double-sided. His is single-sided.
Got it. Okay.
Save our bets.
So this is Exhibit 44 is a captioning provided for a LuLaRoe coach's call. It's bait stamped LLR-WA 00006742. And were you aware that the coach's calls were being transcribed or captioned?
Yes.
Okay. Why does LuLaRoe caption the coach's calls?
We have hearing impaired retailers, and actually, to be precise, they prefer to be called deaf. So we have deaf retailers.
And if you turn to page 9 and 10. I believe this is where you're speaking on the coach's call. And the paragraph about retail price and points starts at the bottom of page 9. So if you could review that paragraph and then the next paragraph, please.
This is on 6750?
Correct, 6750 to 6751.
And your representation is you think this is Mark, even when the lead is N Mark, we do have DN on, she is on right now, and then the next person speaks?
Yes, I do believe that Mark is speaking.
Okay.
Okay, so has LuLaRoe done any surveys involving its IFRs?
Check to the form.
Yes,
When?
always.
Has LuLaRoe done any surveys involving more than 100 IFRs?
Yes,
When?
often.
When was the last one?
I don't know.
You have one in mind, though?
Not really. We have a continual program of reaching out with information, what is going on, when we have internal questions about what's happening in the field, we will start with asking some people that we may have in mind, but most often we end up putting out surveys, finding out what's going on out there, guys. It's how we take the temperature of the field.
And who is taking the temperature of the field at LuLaRoe?
Mostly sales and marketing.
Any particular person in sales and marketing?
No, I'm not sure how they're physically administered, but anybody in sales and marketing wanting to understand what's going on can generate a questionnaire.
And how would that questionnaire be sent to IFRs?
Again, I'm not sure.
Has LuLaRoe commissioned any surveys to be done by third parties?
I'm sorry, I did not hear.
Has LuLaRoe commissioned any third parties to survey IFRs?
Yes.
When?
Again, I'm not sure of specifics. I just know that we have had external surveys done.
And who did the external survey?
Again, don't know. Or I did know at the time it was done. I don't recall.
Did it happen more than once?
I believe so.
Same consultant or different consultants?
I don't know.
Has LuLaRoe ever done surveys about how much time IFRs are working trying to sell LuLaRoe product?
Formal surveys, possibly. Informal, continually.
Informally, would that involve questionnaires?
I do not have a recollection of a questionnaire around that, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been done.
The court reporter has handed you Exhibit 45. It's a printout from a website, Bates labeled WAAG001179. Do you recognize this?
Object to the form.
Yes.
What is it?
It is apparent screen capture of a map that's on the web page.
And that would be LuLaRoe's website?
Yes.
Is this sometimes referred to as the retailer map?
I would say probably.
And when did LuLaRoe's website first include this map?
I have no idea.
Which department would this fall under?
Marketing and sales.
And if you look under the pink banner with the words "Find a retailer near you," it states, whether you're looking to join the movement at LuLaRoe or wanting to host a pop-up boutique, this is a great place to start. Just use the map to locate an independent retailer near you. When did the map display those phrases?
Object on the foundation, if you know.
No idea.
Do you know how this map was created?
No.
Whose idea was it to have a map like this on the website?
I don't know that it can be specifically ascribed to an individual, but I thought it was a fantastic idea, and I was in favor of it.
And it sounds like you signed off on it.
Yes.
Are you aware of any changes that have been made to the retailer map? And for the record, we screen captured this on January 10th, 2018.
I believe that some changes were made in response to complaints from your office.
Aside from those changes in response to our office, are you aware of any other changes that have been made?
And it is a working document. I'm certain that there have been changes made throughout the time that it was up.
And would IT be the best group to talk to if we wanted to drill down and figure out what changes have been made? Or marketing?
I guess it would depend on what changes you're referring to. If you're referring to content, marketing would be your best contact. If you're referring to how it's arranged, how it shows up inside the web page, how it where the data for the map comes from, that would be IT.
Got it. And when it says join the movement, does that refer to becoming an IFR?
Not necessarily.
What might it also mean?
What it would mean is that part of our branding was that we offered something more than just clothing, that we offered a community, that we offered clothing that was outside the norm, It was colorful, it was fun, it was different. People referred to themselves as Lula sisters. There was more there than just buying clothing.
And you referred to, or you said that this was your LuLaRoe's branding. Has the branding changed?
I'm sorry.
You were referring to you're referring to the fact that branding. You're referring to branding in the past tense, like this was our branding. Has the branding changed?
Object to the point.
Our branding hasn't changed, but of course, as in any campaign reaching out to the public, it has to be freshened, and you have to find new language and new ideas that appeal to a new audience. So yes, some of the phrasing and language changes, but the concept and the actual underlying brand has not changed.
So Exhibit 45 is Bates stamped LLR-WA000-11883. It's an email dated November 13th, 2014. It's actually addressed to you, and in it, a Miss Gina Prowl. Oh, pardon, is this 46?
46.
Exhibit 46. I believe we're on Exhibit 47. The court reporter has handed you Exhibit 47. This is an excerpt from a spreadsheet provided to us, Bates numbered LLR-WA000-42787, updated. It's confidential. So I did not print out the entire worksheet, but just the top rows and some of the columns to capture the fields. Just want to run through some of these fields with you. Have you seen this spreadsheet before? It was created for this litigation and provided to our office.
I'm sorry, what?
It was created by your counsel and in assistance with LuLaRoe and provided to our office.
I don't recall the spreadsheet, no.
Okay. So it contains, as I understand it, rows for IFRs, and then details about their wholesale and retail sales, and then some details regarding the bonuses. Do you know where the data that was used to create the spreadsheet came from?
Object to the form. Yeah, foundation.
I do not.
Okay. So if I were to ask you, for example, if you turn to page 3 of 6, there are details on wholesale and retail sales. You don't know where this data came from when this was provided to us.
I do not.
Okay. Do you know who we would talk to you about those details?
Most likely, it would come from Noel or somebody in his department.
So Exhibit 48 is similarly another spreadsheet created for this litigation and provided to us. Bait stamp ending in 64854. It is also data provided to our office specifically regarding bonuses. Do you have any knowledge about where this data came from?
No.
Okay. And would Noel be the best person?
Again, Noel would be the best person.
And if you turn the page, if you go to the next page, it's a different sheet in that same workbook. This one simply states the size of the leadership pool on a monthly basis. Do you know where that information is coming from?
No.
Returning back to this idea of the leadership points, the leadership pool and points in the pool. Does LuLaRoe calculate a dollar value for leadership points in a given month?
The leadership pool and points are set by a formula, so they automatically calculate.
Okay. And is that a metric you ever use or rely on or analyze?
I'm sorry, I did not hear.
Pardon me. Is that a metric or statistic that you ever use or rely on or analyze?
I do not pay close attention to it.
That's not the average over time.
I really don't have a clue in
Got
average
it.
over time.
So that's just one data point. At one point in time, that was the value.
Over a period of time, those were the values. When the comp plan began, and at that point in time.
Do you recall roughly what period of time it was within that range?
No, I don't.
I understand that you don't pay particular attention to this type of data or type of stat. Does anyone at LuLaRoe?
Check on the foundation.
In terms of using it as some kind of metric, no. In terms of calculating it to have it paid, the comp team would be aware of it.
Do you ever look at what percentage of IFR bonuses come out of the leadership pool?
I believe that when they get their compensation check, it's identified, but no, I don't pay attention to it.
Would the comp team, they'd be aware of it? Do they
They'd be
track
aware
it?
of it, but they're not tracking it. It's not a significant statistic.
So LuLaRoe issues 1099 miscellaneous tax statements to its IFRs, correct?
I believe so.
Who handles those tax documents at LuLaRoe? Who creates them and who sends them to IFRs?
I believe they're created in the finance department.
And where is finance pulling the data that goes into creating those tax documents?
Checked on lack of foundation.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume from our NetSuite accounting.
I'll do one more document, and then we'll take a quick break. What is an income disclosure statement?
Check to the form.
It's a I'm not sure. That's a broad question.
Yeah, well, I'll just hand it to you. That'll be easier.
Number?
This is Exhibit 49, I believe. It's been bait stamped WAAG 001175. Do you recognize this, Mr. Stidham?
Yes.
And is it LuLaRoe's 2016 income disclosure statement?
Yes.
And who prepared this?
If you know.
I don't know.
Were these prepared in any other years other than 2016?
Also don't know.
Do you know where the data came from that was used to create this?
Check to the form.
Specifically, no.
And do you know when? So we pulled this from your website, from LuLaRoe's website. Do you know when it was available on LuLaRoe's website?
No, I do not.
Who would be the best person to answer all of these questions?
Possibly someone in marketing. Again, I don't know that anybody would have that knowledge off the top of their head. So if you're looking for that information, they would need to prepare.
Why don't we take a short break?
Off the record, the time is 3:36 p.m.
How many minutes we been on today?